Okay, we're here to make some traditional Indian bannock, and the cook is Mom.
Okay, we're just making regular bannock. I don't make anything fancy. I just use flour, oil, baking powder, salt, and water. Nothing special. That's the basic ingredients that people have in their house. So that's just the way I make it. It's a little bit heavy, but it's very, very tasty, very delicious. And it just takes about 15 minutes to mix it up, and then just throw it in the oven for about 30 minutes at 400 degrees, or 380, 400, someplace around there, depending on the oven. It depends on the oven.
So 380 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Whatever your dial says, 380. And then just do that, and I'll start mixing it up in a minute, and you'll see. I don't usually measure, but I will try to measure it this time.
Okay.
So I will get busy doing that now.
And what are the proportions?
4 cups of flour, about a 1/4 cup of oil, about maybe 4 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt, and a cup of warm water. You can mix the oil in with the water if you like. It's a little bit easier that way. But you will see when I start. This is 4 cups by my head. That, I would say, is 4 cups. So I take that, I get my spoon, I put the baking powder. I'm using a tablespoon. Maybe I should go to my teaspoon. No, I'll use a tablespoon because I know that will be 2 level ones. And maybe a smidgen for good luck, if you know what a smidgen is. And then about a half a teaspoon of salt. Maybe a little bit more. I just shake it till it looks like it's enough. Because you don't want it, you put too much and it's over salty. If you put too much baking powder, then you taste the baking powder. So you just kind of plate by ear. And then you just mix up the salt, the baking powder, and the flour. And then I make a little well in my flour. And I'm going to use tepid water. If you put the water's too hot, and then you're going to cook your baking powder.
So it's got to be lukewarm water.
Lukewarm.
Or tepid.
Tepid. And then oil.
By feel?
By feel.
So it's approximately how much?
Quarter cup.
1/4 cup to 1 cup of water.
Yeah, and then I just stir it. And then I just dump it in my bannock. And then I just stir as I make a little hole in the thing, and I just stir it in, little at a time. Go get the flour coming inward of the bannock. Because if you put all the flour in at one time, and then what happens is that you got big lumps of flour, or dry lumps of flour in there. I might have to put a little bit more water. Just plate by ear, you look at it and you decide, oh, no, this might be just enough. Because I'm not making a big bannock. Mix it from inside out.
Yeah, see, that was my problem. I just started mixing everything by hand.
Then I put some oil onto my hands and rub my hands. And then that way the flour, the wet ingredients don't stick to the hands. But I think I'm going to need some more flour. Some more water.
So the bannock will be a little bit bigger.
So the bannock, but maybe. No, I'm just going to use this much.
It's starting to turn out doughy now. Oh yeah.
Just keep kneading it. Put some more flour on your hands. Take my knead it again. I always use oil in my hands to keep it from becoming sticky to my hands. So I'm going to need a little bit more flour. This seems to be. We could have pulled that curtain down.
No, that's okay. I need the light. But then you've done all this for years by experience, so it's easy. You know what you need and what you don't need.
Yeah, but as long as you have the 4 basic ingredients, and then if it gets too yucky and you don't want to do it up, then just get some oil, heat oil up, and then just drop chunks into oil, and then you'll have kind of like fried bannock.
Yeah.
But when you do the fried bannock, you don't usually put the oil in the bannock, you put it in the pan and then fry your bread dough, or bannock dough.
Oh, so that's the difference with cooking fry bread.
Yeah.
As opposed to baked bannock.
This is kind of a little tough bannock, but he's going to be still good. Usually I don't have any flour left in the thing, but this time I do. Then you just knead it down. Turn it over. Always make it in an oval shape if possible, but it doesn't matter if it's square, oval, round, or what. It's still bannock. And it's still good. That's my bannock. My oven is not quite up to ready to be. I do this because my mother always done it. I think it just makes, if there's any bubbles in there.
Nice.
And then I just put it in the pan, in the oven at 400 or 350, and then we'll see what the results are. It should be a nicer shape.
So that's the temperature you're cooking at?
Yes.
385.
Then I put it on a cookie sheet. Pour it in the oven. And then wait about 30 minutes. Then we'll see what we got. And we're finished. And that's bannock.
Excellent.
End of the story. A good healthy piece of bread. You don't, not too much oil, not too much flour, not too much
Baking powder.
baking powder. So too much baking powder will make it taste funny. Too much salt will be over salty. And too much flour makes dry. And that's my bannock. And then we'll have that tonight with lasagna.
Okay, and we'll just cut to something that says 30 minutes later, then it'll be 30 minutes later.
Then we'll show you, yes. Then we can always show you us eating it too. With bannock, lots of people put salt, put eggs in it, and they put raisins in it, and or milk in it, potato water in it. There's all different varieties. But this is just the basic. If you use potato water or eggs or milk, then you have a much fluffier bannock. But I just like to do it just plain because it's just something to eat. Yeah. And it sticks to your ribs. It's kind of heavy, but it's delicious.
And it's the new modern traditional native food.
Yes, very easy. I don't put nothing simple that I don't have in the house at all times. Just gonna check the bannock now to see how it's doing. Open it up and oh yes, the bannock is done. It's nice and brown
On both sides?
on both sides.
Let's see that on this other side.
Brown.
Oh,
Brown.
yeah, nice.
Because it's such a small bannock, it didn't take long. So I will pull that wrap. Because if you just put it on a plate or something, then it'll sweat.
Right.
So pull it out. Do that. Shut your oven. And there's the bannocks ready. So, ta-da! Bannock all done. So, that's the life of a bannock. Just like the life of pie, this is the life of bannock. And you'll see the life come Does it come to an end when we eat it? Then it's gone.
Then we cut it up like pie.
Then we have like pie and eat it. Long time ago, they never cut up bannock. We just broke chunks off.
Yeah.
Just broke off a chunk and handed everybody got a chunk of bannock. So that's what I did growing up, and that's what my mom did. Probably more people cut it. They were more
Modernized.
but we were just hungry. We just wanted to break a chunk and eat it. And my dad used to, although my dad was white, he would break a chunk off and take it in his pocket. And that's what he would eat when he went on his strap line. Because it was easy, he didn't have to wrap it up, just throw it in his pocket and away you go. But my dad was kind of funny that way.
It's totally countrified anyway.
Yeah, he was countrified. I went on him his strap line, big long strap line. But the bannock tasted good when he gave me a chunk of it when I was hungry. So that was my life at the bannock, and that's my bannock, and we'll have that tonight with lasagna.
Nice.
Little bit pale looking, but it's still all cooked right through. If you hit it and it sounds hollow, then you know it's cooked.
Nice.
So bannock's cooked. See how long did that take? Not very long.
Yeah, less than half an hour.
Yeah. Because it's a small bannock. If the bannock would have been bigger, it would have took a little bit longer to cook.
Yeah.
So, ta-da, that's the end.
And it's traditional Indian bannock, or big bannock. Fried bread, almost the same way like you heard, but it's deep fried. And you don't put oil in the mixture. So that's it, big bannock.